This video is entitled Maintenance, Parts File, Create New Part Manually. We will describe the procedures that should be used to manually create a new part. Creating a new part manually is similar to the procedures that were used to import a part, except that you will have to provide the following: a part number, a description, labor units, and material prices. Most of these items are self-explanatory. The part number is probably the most difficult since it must be created by hand. Just for example, a part number consists of a 4-digit number and is the same as the commodity code that will hold the part. The next two characters are a 2-character alphanumeric identifier, and they can be anything you want it to be. 0070 was used many times for manually created items, XX for manually created items, or your initials, however you want to do it. And the last 5 digits of a part number are a sequential number, and it can be something like 00010 or 10 or 1000 or 10,000 or something of that nature. In order to keep this video generic, I'm going to create a couple of widgets, and to do this I'm going to create a commodity called widgets at commodity code 9930. So as you notice down here, we have some things that are miscellaneous items, and all of these items in here are manually created parts and items that we put into the database. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go here and I'm going to create at the top of the list. I'm going to go to new commodity name, and I double clicked it, and the commodity code is going to be 9930, and the description is going to be widgets. Alright, I finished that. I save it with a check mark, and then I use the exit door to exit the form, and I go back down here to hopefully my system refreshed itself. If not, I'll get out and come back in. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. There's widgets right there, and I have new part index and new part. As I said earlier in the other one, you have to create the part before you can create the part index. So I'm going to double click on new part. The program automatically puts in 9930 for me because I'm doing this from the commodity code 9930, and I'm going to use XX, and I'm going to say 00001. The UPC number is going to be blank, so I'm going to leave that blank because it's not going to be updated. And let's create a 3-inch red widget. Alright, I've done that. Everything else on this form can remain the way it is. I'm going to put some job cost information in here. We're just going to say this is in branch takeoff. So I go down here and say branch rough, and the unit of measure, I'm going to say that these widgets are taken off as a quantity of each. And a material list, I'm going to say this is rough. That's fine. There's nothing else on this page that I need to deal with, and I'm going now to put my labor units in. And I'm going to use 1 man-hour to put my widget in. Do I want to automatically create levels 2 through 4? I say yes, and it automatically creates my labor levels 2 through 4. Now my multiplier, as I did with the imported item, I'm going to put 0.5 here. This is my bid labor unit for this item. And I'm going to say save, and I am done. And I'm going to show you some magic here. I created the one part. I'm going back here and refresh this branch. Refresh this branch. New part index, new part. Oh, before I can do anything with it, I have to create an index for it. So I'm going to create a new part index. I'm going to double click here. That's new part index. I'm going to create a new part. Now this form has synonyms and next. Since this is a manually created one, I'm just going to click next, and I'm going to type in 3-inch widgets. I'm going to give it that name. The index number that I want to use, and this is probably the most complicated thing you're going to have to do, but once you remember how to do it, it's going to be easy. The index number is going to be one less than the number that I used. And I used 00001. In this case, I'm going to add a letter A to my index. I always add a letter to my indexes to differentiate them from a part. And then I'm going to tell it what the range is for this item. I'm going to go, the beginning part number is going to be 9930. It finds my 3-inch red widget, and I'm going to go 9930, and I find it again, and I'm going to save it. Okay, so now I got my, right click this to refresh my branch to make sure there's my 3-inch widgets, and there's my 3-inch red widget. And here's a magical thing. Let's say I wanted to create a green widget and a blue widget. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to edit this item. And this is magical. I'm going to just clone it. What it does is it pops open the thing, puts me onto the part number. I'm going to say this is going to be a green widget. And just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to leave my labor hours and my material cost. Oh, I didn't put any material cost on this item. I missed that part. So let's put a material cost on it. I'm going to put over here in the standard material field, I'm going to put $1. That's what my item is, and because my column 3 price is set to that, that's what my standard material price is. And once again, I'm going to use the famous 0.50 to give me a multiplier to get to my bid material. And now I've got OK, labor hours are the same, my general cost is the same, material cost is the same. I click OK, and I'm done. I'm going to go back to my red widget, and I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to put some material. Apparently I forgot to do that here too. So I'm going to make this $1, and I'm going to put 0.5 in here. Alright, I'm good. Done. Alright, now I'm going to put edit again, and I'm going to create a blue widget. Again, I go over here and I change this number to a 3, and I come over down here and I put in blue, and I'm going to leave my labor hours the same and my material cost the same, and I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to close this. Now, one of the things that I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go back and adjust my index, because my index only goes from 1 to 1. So I click on edit, I click on edit again, I highlight this, and I go down and I select it through the 3-inch, and I save it, and I close it. And now if I refresh my branch, I go to 3-inch widgets, and there's my 3-inch red, my green, and my blue. That's how simple it is to manually create a part. Any part in your system that you need to do to have in the system, you can create it manually, be it concrete, rebar, sand, whatever you want to add into the system. This concludes the Create New Part Manually video.